All right, so I think we're going to get started. Our quote today comes from Autumn Pelche. Kids all over the world have to pay for mistakes we didn't even make. This is our future. We're the next leaders. We're the next elders. This is our future. Autumn Pelche is a water warrior who has been fighting for clean water since the age of 8. From speaking at the United Nations Youth Climate Summit to organizing at a local level in her First Nations community, Pelche is only getting started. Her aunt, Josephine Mandamin, is her inspiration. She taught a very young Pelche the importance of advocacy. In 2015, Pelche attended the Children's Climate Conference, and the following year she spoke with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau regarding the importance of clean water. Today, Pelche is a water protector who speaks out against those who ignore the persistent problems of contaminated water. A lot of us youth are scared, Pelche said in an interview with Vice. We are wondering, do we even have a future to look forward to? Pelche addressed the UN in both 2018 and 2019, highlighting that Indigenous communities are the most affected by contaminated water, that water is life and it is sacred. This was a pivotal moment for Indigenous communities as their worldviews have been historically excluded from these conversations. Pelche is challenging the status quo by amplifying the needs of her community, issues that will eventually impact everyone, no matter the nation. Pelche is a living reminder that the time is now, and we must hold lawmakers accountable for their negligence in the face of the climate crisis. Good morning. Today is Friday, November 20th, 2020, which is kind of fun because it's 2020. And now I'd like to bring Molly up to talk about our holiday.
It is National Absurdity Day. So on November 20th, National Absurdity Day reigns supreme. Oddness and weirdness takes over. So here are some fun absurd facts. Number 1, despite fish being their main source of food, research shows that penguins cannot actually taste it. A study published in February 2015 discovered that they have lost the ability to taste fish. They only have the genes to make receptors for sour and salty food. Apparently because penguins tend to swallow fish whole, it doesn't really matter whether they can taste it or not. Kind of gross. Hailing from Cameroon, the hairy frog has a secret weapon. Its back feet have extendable claws, a bit like those of a cat. Unlike a cat, they are made of bone and are a part of the frog's toes. Oh my goodness, Dagny. When it feels threatened, it breaks the bones and pushes the claws out through its skin. In fact, the frog is more similar to Wolverine from the X-Men if Wolverine could extend its claws from his feet. I don't know where Dagny's finding these. These are crazy. Number 3. Dolphins get high on pufferfish, and some dolphins are also prone to a bit of recreational drug use. Pufferfish are toxic, but in small doses, the neurotoxin they release seems to have a narcotic effect. Dolphins have been reported playing with pufferfish and apparently getting high. This behavior was captured by the BBC's Spy in the Pod program. It is the first reported case of drug use among bottlenose dolphins.
Thank you, Molly. And now I'd like to bring up Anais to talk about our On This Day in History facts.
It's hard to follow. So on this day in history in 1928, Glenn and Bessie Hyde, who were newlyweds, disappeared while attempting to run the rapids of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. In 1981, Microsoft Windows 1.0 was released. And in 1998, the first module of the International Space Station Zarya is launched.
Thank you, Anais. Our joke today is, dun dun dun, what do you do with a sick boat? Ready? Take it to the dock already. Drop what you're having for lunch in the chat. I think I'm going to have some pasta from last night because we have leftovers. But yeah, drop what you're having in the chat because I'd love to see what people are having for lunch. And now we have a presentation from the One Love Club.
Okay, so alright, hi everyone. Our club just wanted to come on here and talk about how we're going to get through the holidays together and quarantine and all of that. So
Our club goals this year are to educate and inform, spread awareness, get involved, and become smarter and safer about healthy relationships. This is really open to anyone, and it doesn't have to just be in our club meetings in school. We work outside of school too with One Love. And yeah. Okay, Yardley's story. Yardley Love was a student athlete at the University of Virginia, and she was in her senior year. She played lacrosse. She was really involved in her school, and she loved being a student. She unfortunately got into an abusive relationship with George Hughley. At the time, her family didn't know that it was unhealthy, and unfortunately she ended up being killed by George. And then afterwards, the Love family realized that her death was preventable and wanted to prevent this from other people. And so they started the One Love Foundation, and now we are working to inform others on how to prevent this kind of thing from happening.
All right, so thank you, Clara. So we just wanted to talk about one of the things that we're doing with One Love that we think that would be relevant to everyone in the STEM community. So One Love has a lot of resources. It basically just produces online content to teach people about healthy relationships. If you are a sophomore, I think you'll be doing some of that in your health class this year. Anyway, so the campaign that they're doing this year is called Love is Learned, and we just think it's a really great reminder. We're going to show a video in a second of the fact that you don't need to be in a club, you don't need to be like already great at this to be good at relationships. I think a lot of people think that, you know, either you're born being good at relationships or you're not, or communication or anything like that, but love is really learned, communication is really learned, and we can all do that together. And I think that that's something that's really helpful to know, that even no matter where you're at, you can always get better. So if Clara would share the video right now, we would love for you to see that.
My computer would just... There we go.
As kids, we're told that love is a feeling. It's all around us, in movies, in songs. But what we see in here isn't always right. Once we look a little more closely, we realize there's so much more to learn. One Love for healthy relationships.
Thank you, Claire and Annabelle. With that being said, and the holiday season approaching, be on the lookout for any signs of unhealthy relationships among your friends and family. Even though, because of the pandemic, this may be more difficult, just know that if you ever need anything, the STEM community will always be there to support you, along with the One Love Club. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to the One Love Club. It's really important, and I think everyone can learn a lot from that. Do we have any faculty announcements? Okay. I did have a student announcement that I didn't get to say yesterday. But Ms. Cass, we all thank you for Wednesday, and I think we can agree that we didn't have enough time with your artwork. But I hope we all have time to revisit your work soon, and we look forward to seeing what you are creating next. Do we have any other student announcements?
I do have one about the cleanup. So we are continuing with the cleanup on this Saturday, the 21st. And we're just changing a couple things. So I have some new rules to read. So we won't be gathering everyone together in one group so we can remain in our like family pods or whoever you come with. And we will email instructions to all participants. So please give Mrs. Hopkins an email if you do plan on coming so that she can give you all of the information you need about like where we're going and all of our social distancing measures. Please self-assess your health before you come. Of course, don't come if you're feeling ill or have a fever, please. We're going to create supply stations so each person or family pod can come pick up their supplies separately. And we're going to allow everyone to kind of hang out in their own pod. So it's important that you email Mrs. Hopkins so that you know what to do when you are there, because we can't like gather around for group instructions. So please give Mrs. Hopkins an email. Thank you. And also dress warm still. It'll be cold probably.
All right, do we have any other student announcements? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Before I let you go, I know going virtual has been on everyone's minds for a few days now, and whatever you're feeling in regards to it, allow yourself this time to feel it. But throughout the day today, try to also allow yourself to find joy in the little things. Maybe someone has a fun background, or maybe try and play around with the filters. My personal favorite is the chef's hat. Also, though I personally am not a huge fan, it is hot chocolate season, so maybe make some hot cocoa for lunch today. Please remember we are all in this together, and I have full faith in our community. Thank you. That is all I have, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.